Hello. Good morning, everybody. It's Victoria Lorient-Fabish, holistic psychotherapist, registered psychotherapist, and I'm coming at you once again with Courageous Conversations. And this is a doozy because courageous conversations with yourself and courageous conversations with others is what I'm here to talk about. And in this particular case, I want to just briefly speak about the notion of something that people have to deal with on a regular basis, which is dealing with conflict, dealing with difficult situations with people they love, people they absolutely are, deeply in a relationship with, either friendship or a partnership or a business or a family member. And so they're deeply loving of the person. And yet the person that they love dearly has wronged them in some way. And so the conversation begins to be, is it enough? Hi, Christine. Is it enough to, can all the other stuff in the relationship, is that enough in terms of keeping them in the relationship with you? And so there's such a huge decision that needs to be made when it comes to people who have wronged you, who've treated you not well. And I'm not talking about violence. Okay, let me be clear. So we're not talking about violence, and we're not talking about theft, and we're not talking about violent, profound addiction. We're talking about, interactions that are less than nice, and, reactivity, volatility, criticism, judgment, these kinds of things, or misinterpreting you and then basing a reality based on that misinterpretation. These kinds of things. And so, but yet there's so many good things in the relationship as well. There's so many good pieces to the relationship. So the question remains, how do we cope with that? I mean, of course, there are, the boundaries we can set and the conversations that are about, setting clear parameters about, what we can do in terms of that. And that's all good. But right up here, if you're deciding to stay in that relationship, how do you navigate that emotionally? And I have been working recently quite a bit with a concept called the Law of Allowance. I mean, the universe has many laws. And there's the law of attraction, the law of similars, the law of respect, but this is the law of allowance that I'm talking about. So what is the law of allowance? Because I'm not talking about allowing abuse in your life, but I am talking about allowing people to be imperfect, allowing people to not fulfill your expectations and still have them in your life, which is a really interesting concept because, I find that the internet is rife with people who are saying, only have the people in your life that are going to uplift you and are going to, yes, I want people in my life that are going to uplift me. And I think that's a good idea for everyone to bring that into their life. But let's be realistic. A lot of people that we love deeply are not going to uplift us. They are going to be our challengers, our biggest teachers, our biggest opportunities for growth, our biggest moments in time in which we get to practice tolerance, patience, non-reactivity, the law of allowance. And those are just as valuable. Those people, those opportunities, those experiences are very valuable for our growth. Now, there's got to be balance, obviously, because I would like us to have people that we don't have to work so hard with in our life, as well as people that we do. And perhaps the people that we do have to work really hard with are the people that are actually in our family, in our relationships. But make sure there's a balance of people that you're like, oh, I get to just relax with this person. I don't have to really practice the law of allowance so much. But as a beautiful, wise human being that I also have in my life said to me, sometimes the people that you're most relaxed with are the people that can sometimes deliver the biggest surprise. And some might call it the biggest gut punch. Gut punch. Because you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting that from you. Wow. I thought I could totally relax with you, but no, I've got to bring in I've got to pepper this wonderfully relaxing relationship with some law of allowance, because it's not just exactly how I hope it to be all the time. And if you're realistic, really, if you really are in the land of realistic thinking, most people in your life are not going to simply give you that sense of, hey, you can just not draw boundaries. You can just not have rules of engagement. Most people that are really, really close to you, you're going to have to do some work, especially the deep people. So the people that you don't have to do a lot of work with, they're not as deep in your life, but they're fun. They're fun. I call them, your party people, your beloved acquaintances. Those are fun. You don't have to do a lot of work. Your expectations need to be low, and you need to have a lot of fun with them. And so there's not these deep conversations and these deep sharings, etc. But with some people, the people that are close to you, the opportunities for growth are big. And I don't recommend amputation for those people. I see people, well, I'm just going to cut them out of my life, They did this to me, or they said this to me, or they treated me this way, and that's that. Well, I think, I don't know, is it a repetitive pattern, or is it a repetitive pattern that you're not speaking up for yourself, that you're not in your own authentic integrity, that you're not in your own, speaking your truth, drawing your boundary, setting up rules of engagement, being fully in your self-culture. And to me, those are the people that are affording you the opportunity to practice a combination of mother love, self-love, like a good parent would love, and the law of allowance, in which you're not being so demanding of the person's perfection. You're more going, okay, you're just as much in your humanity as I am, and you were a bit of a shit, but now we can kind of operate from a place of truth. And I'm going to apply the law of allowance, which means I'm not going to amputate you, but there's got to be rules of engagement. And then those are the courageous conversations that make people shake in their boots. I know they make me shake in my boots. So, and because none of this is easy, people. None of this is easy. This is tough stuff. This is hero's work, spiritual warrior work, and it's hard. But the reason I like to speak about courageous conversations is because it takes a lot of courage to be on the planet and withstand the challenges that are before us, if we're going to live a life that is full and integrous and filled with integrity and filled with authenticity and filled with selfhood and mother love of self. I say mother love of self because I heard it the other day and I thought, oh, I just love that, because it's not just love of self, but it's mother love of self. And not only, and I'm not glorifying the position of mother, but I'm thinking that the mother love is a profound love. And when I think of healthy mother love, I think of profound, healthy love, and then directed toward yourself. And that's powerful. That's healing. That's transformational. So I would encourage you to think about, what does the law of allowance mean to you, and how can you use it to grow your being, at this time? And that is what the journey to me is when it comes to being courageous in your conversations. Okay? So I'm going to keep this brief and short, but think about the law of allowance and think about how you can use the law of allowance in your intimate relationships to give yourself opportunities to grow and practice the courageous conversations in those relationships and the courageous acts in those relationships, so that you're not so black and white. I hope that makes sense for everybody. All right. Have a brilliant day. It's a gorgeous day here in Toronto. And as usual, you can find me at visualizationworks.com, which is my website. And you can also check out my books and my online programs. And please have a look at the group that I have, which is the Positive Self-Culture, Relationship Culture, and Family Culture. Bye for now. Have a great day.